Whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. Henry Ford. Whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. Failure is only the opportunity more intelligently to begin again. Henry Ford. You can't build a reputation on what you're going to do. Henry Ford. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Henry Ford. My best friend is the one who brings out the best in me. Henry Ford. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anybody can complain. Henry Ford. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Henry Ford. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goals. Henry Ford. Vision without execution is just hallucination. Henry Ford. When everything seemed to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Henry Ford. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason so few engage it. Henry Ford. Any customer can have a car painted any color that he wants so long as it is black. Henry Ford. Quality means doing it right when no one is looking. Henry Ford. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. Henry Ford. Coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Henry Ford. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Henry Ford. Chop your own wood and it will warm you twice. Henry Ford. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Henry Ford. If money is your hope for independence, you will never have it. The only real security that a man can have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience and ability. Henry Ford. One of the greatest discoveries a person makes, one of their great surprises, is to find they can do what they were afraid they couldn't do. Henry Ford. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. Henry Ford. Any man who thinks he can be happy and prosperous by letting the government take care of him better take a closer look at the American Indian. Henry Ford. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do, and then do it. Henry Ford. You say I started out with practically nothing, but that isn't correct. We all start with all there is, it's how we use it that makes things possible. Henry Ford. There is no man living who isn't capable of doing more than he thinks he can do. Henry Ford. When Henry Ford decided to produce his famous V8 motor, he chose to build an engine with the entire 8 cylinders cast in one block, and instructed his engineers to produce a design for the engine. The design was placed on paper, but the engineers agreed, to a man, that it was simply impossible to cast an 8-cylinder engine block in one piece. Ford replied, "Produce it anyway." Henry Ford. You can't learn in school what the world is going to do next year. Henry Ford. If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. Henry Ford.